Welcome to One Girl in All the World, a Buffy the Vampire Slayer rewatch podcast where we recap each episode in order and discuss. I'm Ashley, Buffy super fan.
Kimmy, Buffy newbie.
You can find us on all major podcast apps, YouTube, and Instagram with new episodes on Tuesdays.
I'll let you know, like last week, I was a little disappointed because I was like, what is this? This episode sucked. But then this came out and I was like, and I immediately wanted to watch the next episode.
Breathed more air into the show again for you.
And you know, I was loving this season, and then I think I just got so caught off guard with a crappy episode. I was just like, ugh.
Yeah.
But then and then this comes out, and I'm just like, what? And I wanted to watch the next episode, but I'm like, no, take it back. You have to just wait, and it's okay. And like, you should have episodes every once in a while to make you appreciate the good ones more. So,
yep, true. Okay. Yeah. So you are happy.
This was a good episode. Yes. This was a great episode.
You're here for it.
I'm here for it. I'm very curious to know what's going to happen next. Edge of my seat.
Right. So we didn't, did you expect, well, we knew Faith didn't die.
I was expecting to see her again. I guess I kind of forgot about her.
Yeah. Okay. So you didn't think you weren't waiting for her to come back?
I was not. No, I guess I should have been because they didn't neatly write her up, right? Like they didn't close that little, I don't know, but she was, I'm guessing it was around the time she went on to do Bring It On. So she had other things to do.
I don't even know what the...
I'm going to assume the timeline is around there. I could be wrong though.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I never thought about that. All right. This year's Girl originally aired February 22nd, 2000, written by Douglas Petrie, directed by Michael Gershom. And the synopsis is, Buffy is preoccupied with catching the creature that attacked Riley, but her problems are just beginning when she learns that Faith has awakened from her coma and has gone seeking revenge to the only home in which Faith remembers Buffy living. Meanwhile, once she is set free, Faith receives a mysterious gift left behind from the mayor.
So interesting. Oh yeah, and we didn't even really get much of an Adam thing.
Yeah, he wasn't in this episode at all. I mean, he's present, but he doesn't appear. I guess, I think. Okay, I've decided I'm just going to skip the previously ons from now on. Because as the season goes on, each season goes on, they get longer and longer and longer.
This one was really, I felt like we had two recaps, basically. Like we did a Faith recap, and then we did a Riley and Professor Walsh recap.
Yeah, like everything, basically. So you're watching the episodes. We're not going to do previous ons anymore because I got annoyed and I just crossed it out. All right. Go right into the episode. All right, so we're in Buffy's bedroom, and surprise, Faith and Buffy are making a bed.
Yeah.
Weird. Yeah, they're just kind of like, nobody seems surprised to see each other. So you can probably...
it's like a normal, a dream.
Yes, it's a dream. It's a dream. Yeah. Yeah. And Buffy's saying that, she has to leave. And Faith says something interesting here. She says, because little sis is coming, have lots to do before she gets here.
Yeah, what was that referencing? Oh, your face is telling me that means something now.
Well, I wouldn't say it means something because they wouldn't have put it in there if it didn't mean something.
Okay.
And so she goes up to her, like they kind of meet in the front of the bed, and Faith looks down, and Buffy's stabbing her with that knife, the knife that she had stabbed her with initially.
But it's just so Buffy's facial expression is just so like nothing's happening.
Absent. Yeah. Which makes you think so this is Faith's dream, because Faith's the only one that's kind of responding. Buffy's very monotone and not.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So we see Faith in the hospital bed, and her eyes are moving around a lot. So it's Faith dreaming. So we go to the credits, and we come back at Xander's, and Xander is trying to fix the blaster. They couldn't have come up with a better name for that. The blaster that the faulty one that Professor Walsh had given Buffy.
They want to fix it.
Because they're like, hey, this is the only initiative weapon we have. We might need it. It'd be a good idea to use it against Adam.
Yep.
So Xander's trying to fix it. Why they thought, is it the military training thing? They thought Xander should be in charge of this?
I'm assuming so. But I even think his one night of military training wouldn't really prepare him for some weapon that he's never even seen before.
I feel like if anybody should be doing this, it's Willow. Because she was the computer person and that kind of thing before.
Oh, interesting.
Before magic kind of took over that for her.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just thought it was weird. And so and like in the background, Giles is just folding his laundry.
Yeah,
So they're all still hiding in Xander's
he's funny in
basement.
this episode. Yep.
So Giles and Buffy talk about like Buffy trying to get some rest because she's been patrolling for 3 days straight.
She's worried about Adam, and
Yeah.
like we learned very little about him in this episode. There's not much progress there.
Yeah, he's kind of like a specter.
Yeah.
And she just says, we need this blaster and stuff because Adam is like really strong. Like she could barely fight him.
Yeah.
So that's concerning. And he's just out there. We don't know what, he can walk in the day, he can walk at night. He's not like a vampire. So she has to be like aware at all times.
Mm-hmm.
She also says there's been no word on Riley, just that the initiative is telling her that he is fine. And that's it. They won't give him anything else.
Yeah.
And then like that Xander gets electrocuted.
Yeah.
While he's trying to fix them up, and no one even pays him any attention. Worth it.
No.
Doesn't even check to make sure his heart's still beating. So at the initiative, Riley gets up from his hospital bed. He does take the bandana, the hair bandana that Buffy gave him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he tries to leave, and he's confronted by Forrest.
Yep.
And
Who accuses him of visiting Buffy.
Yeah, he's like, I know where you're going. He's like, yeah, that is where I'm going. Like, yeah, I'm going to Buffy. And Forrest is upset. He's like, we have shit is hitting the fan here. We need to like stick together, and we need to stay, in our group or whatever. And Graham does come up and try to keep things cool between them. And but he does agree with Forrest that we need to stick together right now because obviously there's a lot of upheaval and Adam is an issue.
Yep.
But he does leave the initiative.
Yep.
At the hospital, we see Faith starting to dream again. And so we go into her dream again, and she's having a picnic with the mayor.
Yeah. What a dream.
Yeah. And so they're having a nice little picnic, and there's a snake. It's a little snake, and he picks it up like a little garden snake, and he says, "Oh, you don't belong here," and he just puts it down on the picnic.
She talks about being worried about the rain.
Yeah, thinks it's gonna rain. And then Buffy comes over and kills the mayor.
Yeah. Damn.
And Faith kind of, again, very monotone, emotionless Buffy. And Faith kind of just crawls away, trying to get away from her.
She can't get away, just like she's in a nightmare, basically.
Yeah, so she's trying to get away from Buffy and runs. So Xander, Willow, and Buffy are on a patrol looking for Adam, and they come across this like filleted, dissected demon.
And he's charred too, right? Though, like
I don't know if that was just what the demon looked like, or if he was charred.
He looked burnt. Okay, maybe.
And he's like strung up in the trees. Like it's actually pretty. It's really creepy.
It is very
really creepy. And he's just like splayed open, like in an anatomy class or something.
Yes. Yeah, like a dissection.
Yeah. It's really So at Xander, she's talking about this, and like they're all really freaked out that Adam would be doing this. Obviously, he's studying anatomy.
He's learning.
Yeah, so he did the little boy. He did this demon. He's learning human anatomy, demon anatomy. So he's experimenting at this point.
Yeah.
And Buffy's like, okay, the initiative made this thing. They can't stop it. We need to get Riley out. So she she tries to make this whole like dramatic plan of how to get Riley out of the initiative.
Yes. And then who comes walking in?
Hi, it's Riley.
Yeah, that's funny.
And thankfully, Riley does apologize for his behavior before.
He does.
When he was out of his mind, to be fair.
To everybody.
He did shove Willow, so he definitely... And he was rough with Buffy.
And he apologized to Willow, which I really appreciated.
Yeah. Okay, in Faith's dream, Buffy kind of stalks her through the cemetery, and she's running. It's like that like classic... like killer just walks, but they always catch up with you basically no matter how fast you're running.
Because you're running and you're falling over things and you're just like, you keep looking behind you and like, no matter how far you think you're getting ahead of them, they're just like, they're right behind you.
Yeah. And they're just walking at like a very slow pace. And she has the knife that she had stabbed Faith with initially in season 3. And Faith falls into a grave, like an open grave. And then Buffy jumps in. And Faith is the one that climbs out. You hear a
scream.
Yeah, I feel like, does Faith win that like altercation and kill Buffy?
That's my understanding. Because she's
the one that comes
out of the grave. Yeah.
Yeah. So Faith climbs out of the grave, and it starts like storming and raining, and she's just kind of like looking up at the sky, and then she wakes up in the hospital bed.
Yeah. So I wasn't expecting this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you think she was going to wake up once you saw her in the episode at all? Or you thought maybe she would...
I assumed because she was having dreams, they were bringing her back in and she was going to wake up.
Okay.
And I had assumed that in this episode, this would be her last episode, but I was wrong.
I don't know. It's possible. Okay, so she gets up out of bed. I hate when I'm watching any kind of like scene of somebody in the hospital and they rip their IV out. I can't even
Oh,
look.
yeah. I mean, well, especially because, okay, if you've been in a coma for how many years, I don't care how many Slayer powers you have, your muscles have completely deteriorated. Like, this is
Eight mo-
not possible what she did.
8 months. How
It's
long
only
she
been
was.
8 months? Okay, still no,
Yeah.
8 months. 8 months of lying in a hospital bed. You can't get up, rip out your line, and no, no.
Yeah. But she does. So, yeah. And she's kind of wandering the hallway and she comes across this woman who is visiting someone, probably a kid.
Mhm.
She has a little teddy bear. It could be for anybody, I guess.
Yeah.
And she asks her like, what's the date? And she says Friday. She's like, no, what, like month? I think. And then she asks what year, and the girl's like, okay, we need to get you some help if you don't know what year it is.
No.
But she does ask her like what happened to the mayor and the high school, and the girl tells her that yeah, the high school doesn't exist anymore,
The
and the
mayor
mayor and the
died.
principal died, and yeah,
Faith does
so
not take that very well.
no. And then we see her walking out of the hospital in the girl's clothing. So she
Yeah.
obviously
No.
beat that poor woman and stole her
Yeah.
clothing, left her naked in the hospital.
Evil Faith.
Well, we can see that Faith hasn't changed much.
Yeah.
So in Buffy's dorm, Riley says that he had her scarf and it kept him like her like on his mind, and it really mattered that she was out there that
Yeah.
cared. And he's really skittish. He's looking out the window, being like,
Like,
"Do
are
you
they
think
being
do you think someone's
watched?
yeah? Are we being watched?" And
Yeah.
yeah, he's coming to terms now with a healthy mind that he was groomed to take orders. When they said jump, he said how high, and that's kind of the life. Like he doesn't know anything else, so he's like
Yeah.
grappling with how to go from here. Is the initiative? Is the initiative his enemy now?
Well, and that's the thing too. And Buffy talks about him like well, she talks about quitting the council. She's
Mm-hmm.
like, this is this thing that I did that I thought I was supposed to be doing that they always told me what to do. And I realized one day that that didn't really work for me. So I did that. And she's like, it was a choice. Like you have choices, you have options. I thought that was an interesting conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Um,
think it was a good idea to bring up the council because it is a kind of like a kind of similar situation that Buffy was in.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so
Yeah.
she's just basically comforting him, and he's trying to just figure all this out, come to terms with
Yeah.
all of it. So in the hospital, the staff has discovered that Faith is missing. The nurse, a doctor, and probably like an FBI agent or a detective.
I don't know, like some sort of plainclothes cop. Yeah. We
Yeah.
don't really know.
So he's like, yeah, you guys knew that she was wanted for questioning and murders, but you didn't like have
No
no
security.
security. He's like, the doctor says she wasn't supposed to wake up ever. So, but there she is. She's gone.
Yeah.
And they have the entire like hospital like searching every room for her. And somebody comes in that works for the hospital and says they found a woman beaten and like stripped of her clothing.
Yep.
So
And then the
they said,
nurse makes a phone call and asks somebody to send a team. It's like, what's that?
send the team. Yeah. Hmm. So at the high school, we see the ruins of the high school, and Faith is just standing there, like looking at it. And obviously, things didn't go well for the
Yeah.
mayor. Yeah.
So this is a rude awakening for her.
Yeah. And she's walking around Sunnydale. Everybody seems relatively happy. Things are normal. Obviously, demons didn't take over the town. Like, that
Mhm.
was the plan.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's getting confirmation of everything this woman told her.
Yep.
And she ends up at Giles's house, looking through the window at the group, and Riley gives us some interesting information about Adam, that he has a power source, so he probably needs to go down and like charge himself every once in a while.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's probably like when he's like not showing up for a while, that's probably what's happening.
Right.
And he picks the blaster up and just immediately turns it on.
Of course. Yes. That was a nice touch.
Xander's like, "What? No! How'd you do that?" And through the window, Faith sees Buffy kiss Riley on the head or on the forehead or something. So she sees that there's a romantic relationship between them.
Yep.
And Riley kind of offers to be a secret agent, like to go
Double
back to
agent.
a double agent, yeah, double agent to like go back to the initiative and like give them information that may help them defeat Adam or keep them like abreast of what's going on with the initiative. Then the phone rings. And Buffy picks it up, and I think it's like police asking her, like, have you seen Faith?
Yeah.
Because she woke up from her coma.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and at this point, Faith leaves. Nobody sees her, but she leaves. And yeah, so Buffy breaks the news to everybody that Faith has woken up. And they're not really sure what they're going to do about her.
No, but they're talking about like, well, it's funny because they're talking about Adam too, right? And then somebody said, I'd hate to see a homicidal lunatic get in the way of a homicidal lunatic.
Xander.
Xander, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and Willow says, that was the most fun coma ever. And Buffy says, I don't know what she's feeling or, how she's acting. And Xander says, who she's doing. Who she's doing.
Yeah, Xander.
Yeah, poor Buffy tries to like take the high ground and be like, maybe she's sorry. Maybe she doesn't even remember.
Right. Of course.
I mean, she's trying to, always see hope when it comes to Faith.
It's, yeah, I mean, I noticed Anya was not present in this episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was not. Yeah, they don't know what they're going to do with her. We can't really leave her to the cops. Like, she could just break out. Like, she's no match for the cops. The cops are no match for her. The council, they've already like done that, been there, done that with her, and it's probably not a good idea. And so they don't really know what they're going to do once they get her, but they just know they have to capture her first. Yeah. And I like at the end of the scene, Riley just says, "Who's Faith?"
Oh yeah.
And you know what? He has very good manners because he did not interrupt that whole time they were talking about Faith to say, "Well, wait. Who are we talking about?" No, he waited. He waited to the end.
He is a very polite boy. Yes.
Those Midwestern boys. So on campus, Willow and Buffy are walking, and Willow kind of wants to know, like, okay, what did you tell Riley about Faith?
And she said, lightness.
Yeah. She said it was a bit vague. It was a little bit vague about the history between Faith, and also heavily edited the parts about Angel.
Yeah.
Because she didn't have the time to really get into that huge conversation about Angel. So
I mean, that's
she had to go find Faith.
It's a lot. And I mean, like, even if she had time to get into that huge conversation, it's not something she has to do right away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're saying that obviously probably every cop is looking for her, and Buffy says, if I was her, I would get out of Dodge, like, right away. And then Faith turns around. Faith is at, like, the bulletin board and turns around and is there.
Yep.
And Faith kind of taunts Buffy, saying, oh, I saw that you, like, got a boyfriend now, and remember you killed me for that other guy?
Yeah.
The other guy that was the love of your life that you've obviously moved on from, and, you tried to kill me because of him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so then they hear the police sirens coming, so Buffy and Faith start fighting. And Willow tries to help by hitting her with her book bag.
Yeah, way to go, Willow.
Yeah. But Faith runs off.
Gets away.
Yeah, gets away, and basically just punches out two cops on the way out when they get there. So at the dorm, one of the, like, common areas of the dorm, Willow and Tara are doing recon. So they're keeping an eye out for Faith, but they're not going to engage. They would just report back to Buffy if they see her. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because Tara has been now roped, or whatever. I don't say roped. Like, she's willing to help, but, like, brought into Scooby, like, duty, but she's never been introduced to any of them.
I know. I find that really weird too. Like, I'm assuming she's going to have to at some point. Like, what's Willow waiting for at this?
I'd be like, why are you hiding me from your friends?
Yeah. Yep.
And also, she said, like, she says to Tara, like, oh, she's like a super powers or superhuman or whatever. So I'm assuming just because Tara knows about magic, she knows about everything else too.
Yeah, maybe
demons and stuff. Yeah,
maybe
they didn't have some kind of, like, crazy conversation.
No, I guess that's true. I didn't think about that.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they recon during the day, hide at night, and then she also says how annoying it was that Faith you'd always say 5 by 5.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what it means. What does that even mean? Yeah, so Willow's very annoyed that Faith would say 5 by 5.
It's an important piece of the conversation for later.
A little reminder, in case everybody forgot about season 3.
I did forget about that, so...
Mm-hmm. So in town, Giles and Xander are patrolling, and they have the blaster. Mm-hmm. And they... first, Xander is talking about his history with Faith.
Oh, that because she might still have pent-up feelings for him.
He's like, I can't control what I do to women, the effect I have on women.
Jesus.
Oh, my God. Please. So they run into Spike in an alley, and Giles asks him if he's seen Faith and kind of describes her and says, she's a nutcase and is after us. Mm-hmm. And Spike says, you know what? No, I haven't, but... you guys forget that I hate you, so if I run into her, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help her. Sorry. I'm going to help her take you down.
Yeah, basically. He's like,
And
I can't hurt you guys, but I can at least aim a loose cannon at you.
yeah. And Xander's like, we're so dumb. Like, of course, why did we ask him? Why did we give him the information to like find someone that wants to hurt us and is capable of hurting us? So at the hospital, we see a helicopter land and
Yeah.
three guys, like black and like dressed in black and with briefcases, get out and they talk to the nurse that
I'm
made that phone
so
call.
curious about this. And they have a briefcase.
They have briefcases, yeah.
They have briefcases, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So at Maple Court, Faith is just, perusing, window shopping, and she looks at some knives in a store window. And that's the same store that her and Buffy broke into, if you remember, and they got arrested.
Oh, yes. Okay, I didn't realize it was the same store.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
so
then
she's feeling nostalgic. That's
yeah, I
nice.
guess so. Yeah. And then the cops are coming down the street, so she kind of ducks into an alley to hide from them.
Yeah.
And a demon approaches her and says, "Hey, a friend sent me with a package for you or a gift or something like that." And she immediately kills him.
Yeah, wow.
No questions, nothing.
Nope.
And then picks up like a package.
Mm-hmm.
And then also runs from the cops again because they're looking in the alley. So I'm guessing this is like an electronics store that she's broken into.
I have no idea. They didn't
Because it
really
had like electronic stuff and it had like tags on it. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing. So she puts in a video and then it says that the mayor left her. So obviously the mayor squirreled this away for the in case she had woke up. That would be waiting for her. So the mayor basically is like, if you're watching this, I'm dead. And obviously things didn't go the way we wanted them to.
Yeah.
And they say that you're not going to wake up, but I know you are going to wake up. So you're going to get this when you wake up. And he says, without me, there's like really no place in the world for you anymore. But you can like still go out with a bang. So I left you this gift.
Yeah. I thought that was weird. Like basically he's saying once he's gone, her days are numbered. And I'm kind of wondering why he thinks that is, like, because he has to take care of her?
I think because she's alone.
Mm.
Perhaps.
Okay.
Like she had this whole group with the Scoobies and everything.
And that didn't really
And then
work out.
she left with him.
Yeah.
And it was just him, and now he's dead.
Mm.
So I'm guessing he just meant like she's just on her own now. She's just gonna be hunted essentially.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so she opens the box and it's like this weird contraption. No idea what it is.
Yeah, it looks weird. Like some sort of gizmo.
Yeah, it's a gizmo. Contraption gizmo thingamabob.
That's right.
Yes. So in Riley's room, Riley wants to help Buffy find Faith, and because you're still her, obviously, he can't do much. And he's kind of making a little bit light of it, and she really wants to warn him about Faith. Like, it's taken to take it seriously because she's like very dangerous. And Riley knows that she's not telling him the whole story.
Yep.
And she says she just hurt though, like people I love and people I care about. Like she hurt people.
Yeah.
And Faith will come for people that she loves.
And this is not what I was expecting.
No. Forget about good old Joyce.
I did actually.
Yeah. So at Buffy's house, Joyce answers the door and Faith's there and punches her out.
Yep.
And so we come back to the house. Joyce is sitting on her bed.
She's tied up.
Is going through her things, her lipsticks, trying on her lipsticks.
How do I look? And she's like psychotic. Well, I was going for sultry, but okay.
Yeah, so I'll take it. It's fine. And she goes on to say, I'm surprised like Buffy like isn't here, and she like has all Buffy's mail, so obviously Buffy hasn't come to visit in quite a while.
Mail, yeah.
And she says, I'm surprised, like if there was like a psycho person out looking for revenge, and she didn't even give you a call. Which is a good point.
Also, it is a good point, but she's also like, you're her mother and she just leaves you. Like, just like, she's gone off to college and basically has forgotten all about you. Wow, that's harsh. It's like, damn, Shirley knows how to like push those buttons, right?
Yeah, and like Faith doesn't know where like anybody's rooms are like on campus or anything because she wasn't around when that happened. But she knows where Buffy lives and she knows her mom is still there. So I don't know why that wasn't the first thing Buffy thought of.
That's a good point. Yeah. But
silly.
But she's like, she's just leaving you here to die. And then Buffy just comes crashing through the window. That was a good scene.
Yeah. She just comes crashing through and they have a epic fight start.
Did they ever?
Yeah. And we see like while they're still in the bedroom fighting, Joyce picks up the phone to call 911.
Yeah.
So they
I
had
mean,
this
yeah, again, I'm gonna go back to Faith just woke up from an 8-month coma and is on Buffy's level of fighting.
Slayer.
Okay. I
Slayer
mean,
explains it
fine.
all. Just wipe away any logic.
Yep. All right.
Slayer powers. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so they have this crazy fight scene. They end up rolling down the stairs, which looks incredibly painful.
Well,
And
and the whole time, like Faith is making these comments about her clean marine, and
mhm.
he's like, "You're not his type. He's not big on sleaze."
Yeah, she definitely is talking about like, oh, I could like she wants to like sleep with Riley, and she's like, oh, you're going for the boyfriend again.
That's old. That's
That's
so old.
old. You're going for the boyfriend again. You just can't keep your hands off my things. But when they go down the stairs, if you look on the left, there's a camera also like filming them go down
Oh,
the stairs from
really?
a different. Yeah, you can see the cameraman.
Nice. Okay.
Like
I
he's
totally
filming
missed
it from a
that.
a different angle, but he's like because they don't want to like throw them out the stairs 100 times.
Nice.
So you got the camera. You can see it there
Nice.
pretty
Totally missed that.
obviously.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're fighting in the kitchen. They're throwing drawers at each other. It's getting pretty crazy. And yeah, Faith keeps taunting her about Riley, and so they're fighting in the kitchen. That's where we leave the dining room. That's where we leave them. But we go to
Well,
Giles. Go ahead.
sorry, really quickly before
Yeah.
though, I thought it was really interesting because Faith, I don't remember what Faith said, something about forgetting Faith or whatever. And then Buffy's like, "Did you ever think the reason we forgot about you is because we wanted to?" Oh,
Ouch!
burn. Yeah, that was harsh.
Ouch!
Yeah.
Ouch! Yes, that hit hard for sure. So then we go to Giles's, and Giles comes in, and there's those guys that got off the helicopter waiting for him in his house, and they just say, like, "Hello, Rupert."
So they know him, and he
Yeah.
must know them, and I want to know what's going on with that, but that's all we learn.
Yeah. So that's it for now. So back at Buffy's, they fight into the living room in front of the fireplace, and you can start hearing the police siren. So Faith's running out of time to do whatever she needs to do. So she quickly puts on that thing that the mayor left her. So it like goes on like her like I think her pinky and her thumb.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Yeah.
and then the rest of it sits in the middle of her palm. And she grabs Buffy's hand, and something happens.
You can see something. Yeah, a shift.
It's like energy or something
Yeah.
like that goes through them.
Yeah.
And they kind of look at each other, and then Buffy punches Faith out. So Joyce runs down the stairs, and obviously the police are at the door. They're pounding on the door, and Joyce asks, "What is that?" That's on
She's
Buffy's
like,
hand.
"Oh, whatever it was, it didn't work."
Yeah, it was just some kind of weapon, and she smashes it and destroys it. And she says, "You know what?" And Faith is knocked out at this point. You know that she's their problem now, and she's it's over basically.
Mhm.
And Joyce says, "Are you sure you're okay?" And Buffy says, "I'm 5x5."
So they did some sort of Freaky Friday stuff with this, obviously. And the
that's the end of
gizmo's
the episode.
broken, so what's gonna happen?
Yes. So how did you feel about this? It seems that they have switched bodies.
They did, obviously.
Okay.
Yes.
How do you feel
Yeah.
about that? Are you excited about that?
I'm curious and interested. I don't
Okay.
know about excited because I hate Faith, and I would have just been fine with her just being by
Bye.
Faith.
Would you rather have
I'm kinda over her.
would you have a little Faith arc or more Adam?
Well, it's interesting to have. Yeah, Adam's not my favorite, so it's interesting to have a Faith arc, I guess. It's a nice switch. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll go with that.
Okay. We'll go with that. All right, and that's the end of the episode, so it's a little bit of a cliffhanger.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my favorite quote was, it's funny, you just already said this, when Xander says, "I hate to see the pursuit of a homicidal lunatic get in the way of pursuing a homicidal lunatic."
That was a good one. Yes.
And then my favorite scene was that last fight between Buffy and Faith.
That was a really good one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure.
My favorite quote was when Willow and Tara were talking, and they're talking about doing recon for Faith. And I don't know if Tara said, I don't remember. Tara said something. Anyway, Willow's like, "Oh, we'll see her first. She's a cleavagey slut bomb. Look at me, I'm 5x5." That made me laugh.
I didn't remember
so
that
hard.
line.
Oh my god. I was like, a cleavagey slut bomb.
Yep.
Oh, Willow. Yeah. So that was really funny. That was, yeah. And then my favorite scene was also, yeah, that last fight scene was a really good one between
Yeah, that was great.
Buffy and Faith. Yep.
Yeah, so my stake rating was a 4.8. I think it's kind of fun that,
Oh, we matched. Sorry. That was
oh, okay, good. So,
that doesn't happen very often.
twinsies. I like the Faith is back, honestly. Like, I didn't I mean, obviously I knew she was coming back, but I think it's good that she was still relevant when she came back. It wasn't like they brought her back in season 7 or something,
Oh, yeah,
she's been
that's
sitting
fair.
there for like 5 years,
That's
rotting
true.
away.
Yeah.
People can still remember her storyline and everything. So I think if they were going to do it, they had to do it this season. And
Mhm.
we're over the hill of this season now.
Yeah.
I said great fight scenes. The one at the school was really good, and the one at the house was really good. Poor Joyce, they tearing her house again, tearing her house apart again. I also read a little bit about the inspiration of the scene in the bedroom between Faith and Joyce, basically saying, Buffy like took Joyce's protection for granted and like having a mother, and basically that Faith wouldn't have done that. She's basically telling Joyce like basically if I was your daughter,
Hmm.
I wouldn't have just left you here to
Oh, interesting.
be a victim to
Okay.
somebody.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's like Buffy has this protection of a parent, and she just doesn't look what she does with it. She
Hmm.
doesn't really take any any care with it. So that was interesting. And then the ending. That was a great ending.
That was a really good ending. Yeah, what are they gonna do though? How are they gonna figure it out?
I don't know. I have to wait and
Man.
see.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Okay. Well, I mean, the next episode is called Who Are You? So
yeah. Who are you?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, okay. So like I'm torn on this because like I'm kind of like I'm over Faith just because she's so annoying sometimes. But also it was a nice, yeah, like you said, a nice story arc to get back to her. I definitely needed a break from the Initiative and Adam. I thought the Initiative was like a really exciting storyline at first, but I'm definitely kind of over it now, and I'm assuming they're gonna wrap it up mostly this season, which I'm looking forward to. And since they didn't wrap up this Faith line in a neat little box yet, so maybe that's what they're gonna do this season. Yeah, so we'll see. It was kind of fun to see her back. She's just so mean.
So
She's
mean.
so mean.
She's a mean slut bomb.
Cleavage eats the bomb.
Leave it. Yes, I'm sorry. I can't leave that out. Yeah.
But yeah.
And also something I read though too is in that bedroom scene, face tattoo is missing.
Oh, really?
I guess it
That's
just
funny.
melted away. It absorbed during her coma, I guess.
Obviously. That's how comas work. Yes.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
funny.
They
Huh.
feed on tattoos. Yeah. Okay. So it was a 4.8 for both of us. Do you have anything else to
Mhm.
add up on it?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Okay. So the next episode, like you said, is Who Are You? So which character buys a plane ticket?
Giles.
Giles. Okay. All right. Decisive, quick, like it. Here for it. All right, so that wraps up episode 15, This Year's Girl. Again, you can find us on all major podcast apps and YouTube and Instagram at One Girl in All the World Pod. You can also email us at onegirlpod@gmail.com. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back next week with season 4, episode 16, Who Are You? See you real soon.
Bye.